Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Pop Culture Minefield with Keith
and Gerry.
And we're here to talk about nerd stuff. And today, we're going to just, as a highlight of what we're going to have after the opening titles, is we're going to be talking about the deal with J.J. Abrams.
Yes.
And what else did you have in mind?
We're going to talk about Warner Brothers' presentation at Cine Europe, where they gave audiences a nice little preview of something
nice.
They have coming up.
Yeah, that's exciting. And because there's some animation in there that, because we don't get to enjoy Saturday mornings like we used to.
No.
That got ruined in the 90s. But we still get some good news about cartoons every once in a while. So we'll talk about that. And then, of course, we have some news about Bill Shatner, the Shat. And with that, roll credits.
From the deepest, darkest recesses of Dangerous Nerds headquarters, Keith Moncrief and Gary Kissel.
Right. Hey guys, welcome back. And we're going to talk right now about Warner Brothers. And it's big stuff. This is a Warner Brothers day.
Yeah.
So first, this is something that we had actually touched on a while back. And it was something we've been kind of aware of, is that and I do believe this had a lot to do with why JJ turned down taking over Star Wars when Bob Iger was interested in removing Kathleen Kennedy.
Yeah.
Or giving her a promotion where she had no control. And JJ turned it down.
We call that doing a Kurtzman.
Yeah, Kurtzman. And it was kind of odd that he turned it down, but I thought there must be something else in the pipeline with him. And it came out then that he was interested in moving along with his company.
And his own projects, and the ability to be able to not only create something that he actually controls, but be able to keep more of that money for himself. Because,
because that's really what it's about. And it really is. And if people have a problem with that, welcome to a capitalist society, man. It's about the money. What is the line from the movie? The love of money makes the world go round. Or money makes the world go round. He goes, well, I thought love made the world go round. And it was Ving Rhames. Ving Rhames said the line, he says, I thought it was love that made the world go round. And Gene Hackman replies, yeah, the love of money makes the world go round. And there you go. So the deal's done.
Yeah. It's looking like, it looks like Warner Media has scored J.J. Abrams. And so now he's going to be working on some original projects for Warner Media. In this case, this is their entrance into the streaming wars. So Warner's is safe. They've got their own streaming service coming. They've signed J.J. Abrams,
right?
And I'm sure they are going to be making other moves, like merging DC Universe, or a version of DC Universe, into what they've got, along with their entire catalog of just television shows and films. And again, one more nail technically in the coffin of Netflix, because that just means that all of that Warner content, all of the movies,
it's going away,
and all the TV shows are going away.
It's just like what Disney's doing, and that's why Netflix is really trying to make so much original content, because they know they're up shit's creek without a paddle if they don't have some original content, which is the problem that we see with, and this affects DC, because the DC universe, they don't have much in the way of original content. Their DC Daily is, there's a couple of people on there I think are great, but the fact is that is not a very good representation of comic nerds or DC nerds. I don't think it's a very good show. I find it boring to watch. I'm like, get real nerds in there. Don't get these guys that have popular shows.
I don't think
get
that
real nerds.
Personally, I like the show. I just don't think it should be daily. I think if for anything, it should be 3 days a week.
You know why they're doing it? It's because they don't have content
That's right.
coming in.
Yeah.
So, and now we've got this canceled series that we're watching, but we're watching in a bittersweet way.
Yeah.
Swamp Thing. It's once a week.
Yeah.
So DC Universe is going to get swallowed up by Warner Brothers. We know that. It's going to become a subsection of the Warner streaming service. And so you're going to end up paying more, because right now it's right around $7.99, I think is what I pay for it. And you got it too?
No, I don't have it yet.
So he piggybacks on me. I let him see stuff.
I was waiting until Swamp Thing and so.
But the big thing is that it's going to get absorbed in there. We know it's happening. AT&T has shown that they're all about the business.
They want that straight cheddar.
They're not interested in any of the talk.
Yeah.
No hyperbole.
No.
They're cut to the chase.
Yeah.
And
which is sad, because if done well, a news and information service that focuses on the geeky stuff, mainly DC comic stuff, could work. But I think that they're not really spending that much time on it. And that shows in the content that they're able to present. I think there's a lot of stuff that they could promote. There's a lot of various interviews they could have. If they just made it a point to, in some way, kind of turn the clock back a little bit and treat it as if it were like Wizard magazine, minus, a lot of the odd stuff. But I mean, if they treat it like Wizard magazine circa 1993, 1994, that'd be great. That would really work for that show, given all the personalities and people that they have on it that are your host. But if you do it 3 days out of the week instead of every day, that'll give you time to accumulate more content to be able to put. And stop making it just a few minutes long. I mean, it seems like the show's like 15 minutes long now. At best, if you're going to do 3 days out of the week, make it 30 minutes and a good solid 30 minutes with 3 stories for every 30-minute show that are worth your time.
Yeah, I think that would work.
2 good stories, and then maybe like a bio of someone that's actually, worked on DC Comics, or maybe even a classic bio of someone that probably worked back in the day. Somebody out of the 30s, the 40s, and 50s. Look, at another company, we just got through celebrating Wally Wood's birthday. And that was on Monday. And you think about it, I think Marvel does a very good job of occasionally throwing out stuff like that. Outside of just a few names for DC Comics, not many people are really that aware of the history of the company. And it would probably behoove them to go ahead and showcase more personalities, more names. Again, we need...
And they really should also, because whenever they have a new show, they should be doing what AMC and HBO does, which is an after show.
Yeah.
And they should be producing that for Swamp Thing, for Titans when it's airing. The problem is they don't have much content for the show. So it's becoming wary, and I'm concerned that they're probably losing some money right now.
Yeah, that's certain.
Because subscribers are everything when you have a streaming service. So if you're not offering a lot, people are like, because I've already gone through everything on DC Universe. Gone through everything.
Yeah.
Not the comic books. I'm talking about the TV shows and movies. I've watched everything now. So it's like, all right, I guess our relationship's over.
And for all the people that are going to give me a hard time, we recently just celebrated Neil Adams' birthday. Love Neil Adams, but he's kind of a weird interview. So,
I've seen him in interviews. But, talking about DC, I did want to bring something up. I saw that Frank Miller is finished with Superman Year One.
Cool.
And he did something interesting here. Some of my friends that are pros that work in the industry, work for DC and Marvel, some of them didn't like it, what he did.
Yeah.
But and I understand their argument, but I like the feel of this, which is everybody remembers back when they did Superman Red Son, right?
Yeah.
Made Superman a commie. We all remember that.
Yeah.
And I don't want to disparage it, but the fact is I prefer my patriotic Superman. Well, Frank Miller went a step further and showed him, having grown up in Kansas, what would be a natural progression for a lot of those kids that grew up in the Midwest, go in the military. So Superman joins the military and becomes a Navy SEAL.
Wow. That's
Frank Miller's year one, and the new one. And I'm like, now one argument I heard was, he's impervious. So the whole idea of going through military training is to be broken down and built back up. He doesn't get to have that happen because you can't break Superman down. And I have an argument there. It's like, psychologically, yes, you can. You can separate him from what he loves, because that's part of the breakdown you go through. It's not just physical breakdown.
Yeah.
It's your emotional and psychological breakdown. One of the first things they did to us in military training was to remind us that our girls might be sleeping with some other dude while we're away. So we start detaching. It's like, it makes us paranoid. I mean, they even have a cadence after it, the Jody cadence, which is about how, you're in the Army now and Jody's back home with your girl. So I don't know. And I love the patriotism of having him a Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
It's like, but it is sort of funny. It falls under that thing where anybody that talks about being reincarnated, isn't it funny how people who claim to have been reincarnated, it's always from somebody who did something amazing.
Right.
And it's sort of like, this falls into the thing. It's like, you mean he couldn't just be a regular grunt. He had to be a Navy SEAL. But I don't know. I'm going to read this. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to read it. But moving, that's DC. Now, heading to the other part of Warner Brothers universe, which is what you have a lot to talk about,
yes,
is Cine Europe. Because I don't know much about this, so I'm going to be learning this as you talk.
Well, it's just an event like any others that gives them the ability to be able to showcase what they have. Mainly, what they're going to be putting out there for European audiences. So they gave audiences a look at a lot of the upcoming things that they have coming. This is sort of like what, say, a Hall H presentation for San Diego Comic-Con would be like, except they're doing it in Europe. So they went over and were able to give audiences a further extended look at Todd Phillips' upcoming Joker movie.
Which I'm stoked about. I don't care. I got friends that are loving the idea, some that hate it. Yeah. I don't care. All I care about is what I feel. I want to see that movie.
Me too. They've sold 2 tickets with us. And then also next year's Birds of Prey.
Which I'm looking for. I thought it was kind of goofy, the whole... was it Birds of Prey or was it the other movie that had Harley Quinn saying that she's dressed not to please men anymore?
Birds of Prey.
Is it Birds of Prey? Yeah. I thought, what a goofy thing to brag about.
And make sure you check out the upcoming Black Label title called Harleen. Okay? That's the upcoming
You've been talking about this and it's like,
yes.
I'm going to have to check that shit out.
Yeah, I got to check that one out. And then they also were able to even get a nice little preview of Wonder Woman 1984. And
God, I hope it's better than that picture that they released.
I'm kind of excited by it because it's Wonder Woman's gold armor. And now I know
I love that, but it's distracting, all those colors.
Yeah, all the colors and stuff they put with it. Yeah.
And it's not 1984. That look did not feel like 1984 at all.
Yeah.
But either way it goes, I'm excited about seeing Wonder Woman.
And then they also gave a nice look at Godzilla versus Kong.
Oh my God, because we were concerned about it because of how badly Godzilla did in the theater.
Yeah, and Godzilla King of Monsters.
And it really sucks that they did not bring home the bucks that they should have.
Yeah.
And I really feel bad as a fan of Godzilla that my fellow fans failed that movie.
Yeah.
And I do. I see this as a failure of the fan base. It's like, when you have a good movie like this and you don't bother to go see it, That's shameful. That is shameful because you hurt the chances of ever getting another one. But the thing is, movie's already done. King Kong versus Godzilla's already done. But our concern was, and you brought it up, was, would this end up being a straight to video thing?
Yeah.
Because they're afraid of putting a lot more money into advertising. But let's see what happens with Cine Europe.
Yeah.
Because if there was a good reaction to it, that might change Warner Brothers tune.
Ironically, it's almost literally a year ago, a few years back, basically this day, or should I say the day before, that Edge of Tomorrow was having the problems at the box office. That movie was
Number
really
one,
good.
Changing the name.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been Edge of Tomorrow. Confusing. People didn't understand what the hell they were watching.
Yeah.
The original title was better, and they did bring it back when they released it.
Yes.
On Blu-ray, which I bought Blu-ray.
All you need is kill. But on top of that, it was the worst advertising campaign I've ever seen since John Carter.
It's a great film.
It is a great movie. No matter how you feel about Tom Cruise, Edge of Tomorrow is a kick-ass movie.
He's batshit crazy. But that's what makes his movies so great.
Yes.
Because he's batshit crazy. But, and, not to go off on a tangent, but I thought it was funny, the Justin Bieber thing.
Yeah.
Challenging him to a fight. And then, a day later, it was like, I was only kidding. It's just a joke. No, it wasn't. You're just realizing what you did.
Yeah.
Probably drunk.
Yeah,
Drunk
probably.
posted. Drunk high, whatever he's doing. High. Smoking crack, whatever. I could beat Tom Cruise. Where did that even come from?
Hey, I like the fact that everybody else just decided to jump on board and started challenging everybody that's 31 years older than you are right now.
The dude of Supernatural,
Yeah, Jared Padalecki.
He jumped in there and he says, somebody send me a Tom Cruise mask. He's ready to beat up on some people. So, but anyway,
among the rest of the things that Warner's will be is unveiling at Cine Europe will be Scoob, which is another updating of Scooby-Doo, and considering that this year is the 50th anniversary, so now we have a brand new Scooby-Doo animated thing. Again, for me personally, I'm not a big fan of any of this other stuff outside of the original 69 series. Other than that,
same here. I watched the updated one with Scrappy. I hated that character. Every kid I knew hated that character. Yeah. It's like, why don't they just kill him? And I loved it when they did the live action movie where they kick him out of the van.
Yeah.
Hey! And what's funny, Fred Walker did the voice of that character too.
Yeah. Well, we got James Gunn to thank for that one. And then also a look at DC Super Pets, which is going to be...
I assume Crypto's going to be in there.
Crypto, and as well as Ace, and all of the major Super Pets from pretty much the Silver Age DC Comics.
Aquaman's pet jellyfish.
Yeah. Well. And then...
He called him Jiggly.
And then also a look at the upcoming live action / animated features, Space Jam 2 and Tom and Jerry.
Now, I'm looking forward to that. I love Tom and Jerry. I love back with the classic MGM cartoons.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but anyway, I guess we'll just, for the last thing, there's a bit of celebration in our nerd group that Doomcock, who had managed somehow, and I think he was joking when he posted what he said to William Shatner, and I think Bill took it the wrong way as a challenge or something, and William Shatner banned him, blocked him on Twitter, and Doomcock was devastated with it because he's such a big fan.
Yeah.
Now, on this show, there are those of us that love Doomcock, and there are those on our show, Craig, that doesn't like Doomcock. I love Craig. He's a great producer on this show, but there are some things that he just doesn't like that we like and we find funny. And Doomcock is one of those characters, and he's a character. He's full of shit sometimes, but he's got so much truth and information in what he does.
Yeah.
Which is why Gary Beegler And everybody in the nerd groups, really, Midnight's Edge, give him a lot of room to be a part of what they do, because Doomcock knows a lot of stuff, knows people within the industry, and he's informational. But he's kind of an ass, and but I'm kind of a dick, so we just love him. So Bill Shatner unblocked him today, and it was really cool. What they did. We watched the whole video.
Established, he was able to get him unblocked since so many fans and others were pleading his case to Bill.
Please, Bill, let Doomcock back in. So Bill, being who he is, says, I'll let him back in. If
you donate.
If he donates $1,000 or 1,000 of his fans donate $1. One day. And he unblocked him, welcomed him back, and of course Doomcock was like, thank you, I will never mess up again. So we applaud Doomcock for getting back on Bill Shatner's good side.
And good for Bill to figure out a nice face-saving way.
He is such a smart dude.
Oh man.
People, the SJWs, when they try to take him on, they have no idea. This guy is old, but he's not doddering old. He is like sharp-witted. Maybe he's because I heard something recently that he was having the collagen, or not collagen, injections from embryonic stem cells. Mm-hmm. And I'm like going, maybe that's why he's so damn sharp. Maybe he's like South Park's version of Christopher Reeve eating babies.
You know what, though? I mean, it just goes to show. I mean, that's straight up the third big story within a week of some major Canadian personality just basically out there just ruling the internet. Between Ryan Reynolds, William Shatner, and of course, Keanu Reeves. This has been an incredible week.
And we're going to be talking about Keanu again here soon. So, because so much is going on with him.
He is too cool for school, man.
My God. It's like he's really having that new renaissance, that Keanu-sance. It's just unbelievable what's going on with him. And we'll be talking, will that be in the next episode? We'll be talking about Keanu?
We can try to talk.
We'll try to bring him.
Yeah.
But once again, kudos to Bill Shatner for allowing Doomcock back in. And with that, I guess that's Keith.
That's Gerry.
And we're out of here.
Please remember to like, subscribe and comment, as we love to hear back from our viewers. Also, if you enjoy our videos, please consider becoming a patron of our show through Patreon and or GoFundMe. Links are listed below the video in the description.